Hi, today I'd like to discuss professionalism. It's something I'm very often accused of not having. It's something that I think a lot of people are defining in an improper way, so I'd like to define the world's definition of traditional professionalism, and then I'd like to talk about my idea of real professionalism. The reason I want to bring this up is because I am starting a new business that is looking to be more professional solely in the world of motherboard repair, not to my definition of professionalism, not to my definition, because at my definition we're already there, but rather to the world's definition of professionalism, which is why before I start that business and before I start doing videos for it, I want to tell you what my definition of professionalism is and why I find it to be so important. So my idea of real professionalism is this. A, you speak your mind and you give away your opinion, even when you feel that that may lose you business. So you don't lie to the public because you feel that if you tell the truth, you are going to lose them as a client. The second thing that you do as a professional is you provide repeatable results to a high level of standards regardless of what is going on. So I don't have the right tool today, I'm still going to do the job right. I don't feel good today, I'm still going to do the job right. I'm kind of tired today, I'm still going to do the job right. You understand how it is? So on a regular basis, regardless of the circumstances you are in, you are going to do that job to a high standard of quality. And this is something that I didn't really get and didn't really grasp until I actually started listening to the Slipperman radio show, which is something that you could find on the Womb Forum. So if you Google the Womb Forums, womb as in you know what you're stuck in before you're born, you're going to find out that they have a radio show, and it's a very, very good radio show. And there's one particular person on there called Slipperman, whose posts I have been reading for about 12, 13 years now, that had a profound effect on my business mindset and a profound effect on my life and getting me where I am right now. So Slipperman, when you listen to the radio show, there's really no way to say it. He just seems kind of like a nut, and when you read the posts, he seems like a nut. But he is somebody who sees everything that he does as a craft. So if I'm doing this to excel at it, to do it better than others, to do it to the point where I don't just see it as a job, I see it as an art. Every small thing that he does, he sees as an art, as a craft, as something that you have to learn, that you have to immerse yourself in, that you have to excel at. And one of the things that he had mentioned in one of his radio shows that I heard 7 or 8 years ago was that sometimes he has these new interns or these new kids come in and they'll brag because they did a mix and they did it much faster than him and it sounded much better, and he'll say, you know what, you're right. What you did was great, and you kicked my ass. You kicked my ass. I'm not going to argue that. But can you kick my ass 365 days a year? Can you kick my ass 3 sessions a day, 365 days a year, under every single barrage of grueling circumstances? Every time somebody says they want X, but they really want Y. Every time you have to deal with people who are just coming to the studio high, fucked up, whatever it is, can you kick my ass repeatedly? Because that's what makes you a professional. And that's one of the things that is really, really important to me when it comes to professionalism. So I was writing this blog recently, and this is how this came up, where I'm talking about diode mode on the multimeter. And I did a video on this recently, and one person's being snarky and saying, you don't need diode mode to figure it out that you're missing 18 volts in a trackpad line, you moron. And here's the thing. In this video, I was showing you how to repair a trackpad circuit, and the problem was there was a missing resistor on the 18-volt line going to the trackpad. Here's the thing. You are right. I overlooked something very silly and very stupid. I overlooked something that I should have checked, most likely before I checked anything else on this machine. But the reality of the real world, the reality of actually sitting in the chair 12 hours a day, every single day of the year, including Christmas, is that you are going to screw up sometimes. You are going to have different circumstances. You are going to come to work tired. You're going to come to work angry. You're going to come to work and have 30 or 40 tickets that you have to finish before 6 o'clock, and you're going to get into an argument with your girlfriend, and you're going to get in an argument with a customer, and the bank is going to send you a notice that says that you have 35 overdraft fees because FedEx decided to take them all out one at a time instead of as a lump, and you're going to get a notice from National Grid that says that you owe them $3,000 along with another letter that says, whoops, apparently we read your bill wrong. You should call us if you think that your bill is wrong before you pay us. And you're on auto pay, and it's scheduled to go out today. Like, you're going to have those days where everything goes wrong. So when you have those days where everything goes wrong, is your business, is your methodology, is the way you work set up so that you can deal with it? Or are you set up in a manner where when things don't go your way, you fall down, you give up, you fail, you screw up. That's what being a professional is about. Being a professional is about being able to offer repeatable quality results to your client base, meaning it's not just that I got the three-point shot from half court once by luck, it's I got the three-point shot from half court once, and I'll do it again 50 times in a row. So you are indeed right. You could have kicked my ass. It took me 30 minutes to do that repair. You could have gotten it done in 45 seconds. And that one time, you kicked my ass. Congratulations. But are you going to be able to do that regularly? Are you going to be able to do that 365 days a year? Are you going to be able to do that for over 3,000 or 5,000 or 9,000 motherboards per year? That's what people are looking for. So when I get contracts with recycling companies, with schools, with large businesses, with large e-waste companies, what do you think they are looking for? Are they looking for a hotshot who one single time was able to figure something out quicker than me? Or are they looking for somebody who 99.9% of the time hits the ball out of the park and always figures the shit out? They're looking for the latter. And that's what I want to get across with this video. Professionalism is not about this idea that everything should look perfect, that you never make mistakes. Professionalism is not, look at how neat this desk is. Professionalism is not, look at how I have the ESD safe mat and the perfect set of tools, and look at how I used only the top quality bench power supplies. Look at how we wear garments that have the company logo on them in every video. Look at how we speak prim and proper with, perfectly spell checked and grammar checked English. Look at it's not about that. It's not about like this whole idea of portraying a perfect image. It's about doing the job right every single time when the real world, which is not perfect, throws you a curveball. You're right, you did kick my ass, but when you have an issue with a different circuit, is being a whiz kid going to help you then? Is being a wise ass going to help you then? Is being somebody who is able to hit the ball out of the park that one time going to repeat itself? Was that luck, or was that actually a methodology? Because what I was trying to get across was a methodology that you could use so that when you get stuck, so that when in the real world you screw up, or in the real world you just have a brain fart and you can't figure something out, you can actually get the job done. Making measurements on diode mode to ground is one of those ways that I correct myself. So I measure around every single pin of a connector or every single pin of a package, and it does allow me to figure out when I am having a bad day and there's something that I really should know is right in front of me and obvious. It allows me to figure out, oh, that's what I missed. And that's the point here, is that again, professionalism, it's not about just being a genius and getting everything right on the first go. Being a professional is about, oh, I didn't get it right. I missed it. I screwed up, but I fixed it anyway. It's about the result. It's about repeatedly getting a good result for your client. And that method is one of the tools in my toolbox that I use so that I'm always able to get a good result for my client. So that's why I have the success rate that I do. That's why I have the business that I do, because I focus on methodologies that allow me to get the job done, even when the real world interferes, and even when the real world tells me, you're having a bad day today. I'm giving you a bad day today. Nothing is going to go right for you. What I do is I have something set up so that when the world says nothing is going to go right for me, I make it go right anyway. It may take a little longer. You may see a mistake along the way. A GPU may drop onto the motherboard along the way. But I assure you, when I am done, what I did will work. My success rate will be higher, and I will make the money, and I will produce results for my clients. That is my definition of professional. My definition of professionalism, again, it's not this idea that everybody's wearing a suit and tie and working on a perfectly clean table with their ESD safe tools that are lined up in order. My idea of professionalism is showing you that in the real world, or again, in the real world, I would rather spend 10 minutes of my time making $200 or $300 than taking that Cat 5 wire down. I truly would. It's still here a week later after I made the video making fun of that. I would rather spend that time making that money than caring about that. And if you're the type of person that's going to care about that, that's fine. Go someplace that'll charge you more money and steal your components and have a lower success rate. I don't care. But the point is, professionalism is not this silly idea that if you say a bad word, that if you give out your opinion, that if everything doesn't look prim and proper and pristine, that you're unprofessional. That is the fake definition of professionalism. That is the insecure definition of professionalism. I still remember Ricky Began saying, I remember asking him one time because I was a dumbass 17-year-old kid who was actually dressing up to come to work. I'm like, it's like, no offense, but like, why do you dress like that? And he goes, kid, we are good at what we do. We figure out things other people don't. I don't give a fuck what people think of how I'm dressed because I can fix their problem. And he got that across to me. He had holes in his pants, holes in his shirt. He didn't shave at all. And he didn't have to care. And he was right because when he came there, he was the only one who could fix the Neve VRP switches in under 45 minutes for a single switch without having to go through it 2 or 3 times. That's what people care about. They care about repeatable results. Can you do the job? Can you get the job done to this level of quality? Will the job be done to that level of quality every single day? They don't care about the snark. They don't care about the crap. They don't sweat the fact that I don't use a pair of ESD safe tweezers. They don't sweat the fact that my setup is not beautiful. And they don't sweat the fact that every now and then I curse on the internet. What they care about are repeatable results. So by my definition of professionalism, and by the people who pay me their definition of professionalism, I'm professional enough for them. And this is something that you should think about. Because again, I do put up videos with some, questionable content if you're under 13, and I do put up videos where I give out opinions that seem unprofessional. But what I want you to realize is, again, because this is a real-world, practical-based channel, I do have school contracts. I do have schools that will send me 20 or 30 machines and say, figure out what's wrong with these. I do have schools on the other side of the U.S. that say, hey, we need 300 of this screen. Can you sell it to us? And I say, absolutely. I do have companies that come to us for this kind of stuff, and this is, believe it or not, for all the naysayers out there, a real business that services not just end users, not just hippies with broken iPhones, but actual businesses. And what businesses care about, if I'm going to sell a business, if I'm going to sell a large school district, what I need to do is talk to them, figure out what their problems are, figure out what their fears are, and convince them through just showing them how we operate. Not even saying that we're the best, you have to believe we're the best, just showing how we operate, that we will repeatedly be able to solve their problems to a high standard of quality. That's what matters. That's the definition of real professionalism, and that's why I don't give a fuck when I read a comment that says, "Oh my God, you said X? You're unprofessional." No. Because all the people paying me, all the people giving me money, all the people who allow me to pay my rent, pay my staff, pay for the camcorder, pay for me to go to CTIA, pay for me to stay at a 5-star hotel in Disney World, disagree with you.